Okay, let's do it. Alright, what is Hasan crashing out over again? Hasan Piker thinks America might be cooked. Why is this blurred? Is he in his underwear? Why is he... Look, I'm all for, like, you know, people doing what they want to do, but why? Why are you in your underwear?
Guys, Riff here.
Hey, Rev.
So today we're once again talking about our favorite champagne socialist, Hasan Piker. Now the reason we're talking about him is because he's crashing out over the reaction to...
Remember, he has an OnlyFans. Are you joking? Are you serious?
To his latest puff piece, this time released by
You're trolling.
GQ, where even his own fans are calling it cringe, making him even more upset. And he's also going to talk about many different parties in this article, including the usual suspects for him, the people who live rent-free in his head. I'm talking, of course, about Ethan Klein and Asmongold as well. Now, as always, make sure to like, comment, or subscribe. You guys get the drill at this point. So let's jump right into today's video. Now, there's been a long string of puff pieces made about Hasan Piker. His PR budget must be through the roof. We've seen some classics recently, like this one by the New York Times titled
A Progressive Mind in a MAGA Body. Do you guys remember when we looked at a bunch of Reddit posts about women that are like, why are these right-wingers really hot? I hate their viewpoints, but they're kind of sexy and I kind of like it. And it's like... Why is working out a right-wing thing to do? Like, why are you implying that being left-wing is, like, for being fat? Why are you insinuating that?
Progressive mind.
Alana wants Hasan. No, fuck no. Ew.
In a MAGA body.
Disgusting.
Hasan Piker pumps iron.
I don't want anyone but
weapons and wears pearls.
Oh, sorry.
Amazing stuff. And then we have this one from NPR, where... you can see the title, Hasan Piker, a himbo gateway drug to the left. Not to be dramatic, but would you die for Hasan Piker?
Who wrote this? Was this just a glaze by a female journalist?
As you can see, the reception has been great on these puff pieces, but this is the most recent source, GQ magazine. And I don't know if you guys are like me. I remember GQ magazine being on the shelves when I was a kid, and it's been many, many years since...
Yeah, I remember GQ was like mainly like male fashion and sports, no? I don't know. I never bought it, obviously, but I saw it on shelves. Now we're talking about puff pieces for freaking Hasan.
Since I've heard about them, and
That's
I am
crazy.
shocked. I am floored they're not bankrupt. Honestly, it's a miracle they're still around. Now, for those not familiar, this is their About section. Who we are.
Yeah, men's fashion. Wow, that's crazy.
GQ is the global flagship of men's fashion, the arbiter of cool for anyone who sees the world through the lens of taste and style.
If you have to say you're the arbiter of cool, that's automatically uncool.
Honestly, Hasan Piker is a great fit for a group of self-important narcissists like this who think they're the arbiter of anything cool and anything to do with taste or style. Now brace yourselves.
If you're cool, you don't
We're going to look at
it.
the cover image of this piece on Hasan Piker.
Negative aura. Auto-restricting this image? Wait! He's not even doing anything that bad. I thought he was in his underwear. YouTube actually had... Okay, jokes aside, I actually think this is really telling. Like, why is YouTube censoring his legs? It's the hairy legs. There's nothing wrong with hairy legs. What the frig? There's plenty of hairy men.
That's all I can say. Wow. This has to be big.
Hit to censor it? That's so strong.
What is he doing, man? You can see
he's lounging.
He's really
classy and like relatable, and he's putting his feet up with socks on. Yeah.
And it all hang loose, and honestly, it goes right with his strategy. I mean, his fan base is going to gobble stuff like this up, and they're going to give him even more support because they care more about how he looks than the practicality of the things that he's saying. And you can see his head, again, is so disproportionately small to his...
Why is everyone hung up on his head? What's that show? Was it from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that there's a dinosaur that's like standing in a suit and it has like a small head? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I've seen that meme picture before, but yeah, that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Body. It's like medically fascinating. I'm not even saying
it's
this
the
to be
Super
mean or
Mario
anything.
movie.
It is
Yes,
medically
you're right.
fascinating how disproportionate his head is to the rest of his body. But anyways, you can see the headline, Hasan Piker thinks America might be cooked. Well,
I'm
they're
not
definitely
gonna bully him
cooked
about
if this
that.
guy
He's
is
already
supposed to be
Hasan.
like the inspiration for the youth politically. But you can
That's
see the
mean.
small intro here. Martial law canceled elections. The combative
He's definitely on the
leftist
inside,
streamer
right,
Hasan
Chet?
Piker. I'm pretty sure he hates being associated with the left, but anyways, he predicts an ominous possible future for the U.S. He's fighting back the only way he knows how, by raging against Trump, Israel, Democrats, and the wannabe bad boys of the manosphere.
Manosphere is a wild journalist term.
This is a real article. Someone got paid to write this. Now, things get really crazy when you start reading sections of the article, and you really
What about
quickly
the woman's
understand
sphere?
the kind of situation we're dealing with here in terms of coverage. This is a real passage, okay? His Bernese
Save
beefcake
America.
Kaya tussles with a few other golden brown dogs as Piker burns through his 70-minute workout, exhausting himself.
Dude, this actually reads like a fan fiction. Oh my lord.
In the process, he strips his shirt off. An army of girls and gays, not to mention admiring
Girls and gays.
looks maxers, would kill to be where I am now, next to Piker, as he pants in a pair of neon shorts with black Calvin Klein boxers poking out and sunlight glistening off the sweat beaded on his chest hairs.
Why are we writing fan fiction? Are women okay? Let me see. GQ, Hasan Piker. Who wrote this? Was it a man or a woman? I just want to know for brevity. By Kieran Press Reynolds. Okay. Oh, it's a man! Okay. Chad, you were wrong. It wasn't a female fan fiction. It's a man. And yes, I checked. They go by he, him. So, bigots, shut the fuck up. Thank you very much.
This literally reads like erotica.
Yeah, it does!
This is literally
Like soft erotica. Not like real erotica, but soft erotica,
an
yes.
erotic fan fiction someone wrote about him. But no, this is an author contributing to GQ, a magazine that's been around for decades. Someone got paid money to write this absolute slop. It's insane. And here's some more pictures that they
Dude,
made
he
of
looks so
Hasan
hard,
Piker,
dude.
captioned, Medicare for all, TRT for all, Ozempic for all, HRT for all, including children. That's my argument, Hasan Piker says. And you gotta trust him. He's a
Christ.
conventionally attractive man striking a pose like this. You gotta
Ozempic for
believe
all.
him. Right, he's got all the
HRT for
answers.
all.
This is
What's TRT? Testosterone treatment? Yeah, wait, what's TRT? Does anybody know? I know what HRT is. It's hormone replacement therapy. Test replacement therapy. Oh, okay.
pretty much what GQ is going for, and it's really what Hasan's going for at this point. But when you start
Strong.
asking, Hasan make the rich pay Piker, how do you achieve these goals? Because his politics
By working
reads
out.
like a wish list. I want this. We should have that. So on and so forth. But if you ask him, how are we going to do that? How does that actually come into place? There's no answer. Crickets. And even worse yet, he would never sacrifice anything of his own to make it happen. This guy lives in a $3 million home, drives a $200,000...
You don't understand. The $3 million home in California, he has to have that because the area he lives in, that's like an average house. Even though you could go to... you can have a compound in Montana for probably like half the fraction of a price. No, he has to live in California, in a rich area.
luxury car. He is not going to be bothered to do any sort of contribution to make this happen, even as a self-proclaimed socialist. Now, there's one more little... Oh, God. brace yourselves again.
Chat, this is in the article. He's not naked, by the way. He's not. He's in his underwear or something, right? Yeah.
This is the photo a lot of people are really making fun of right now, but what I found very interesting about this is that Hasan reposted this, where it says Taylor Swift has likely seen the new GQ photo of Hasan Piker in bathtub featured in the same issue as her current boyfriend Travis Kelce.
What?
Why would he repost this? Why would he care about this? It's so weird. It shows the level of vanity here.
Oh, because it's probably a PR fluff piece, that's why. Yeah.
It's all about showing off his looks to not just people, but celebrities he's trying to get attention from. And in this case, secondary attention, incidental attention, just by being in the same magazine as Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Hasan loves PR overall. I think, genuinely, no glaze, I think Hasan's PR team is insanely good. Whatever they're doing a fantastic job of glazing the fuck out of him. They're spending their budget really well. Yeah, they work hella overtime. Like, say what you want and say, like, oh, I hate Hasan, blah, 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 blah. They are working overtime for normies to have a good perception of him, and they're doing a great job. He's not getting fleeced, that's for sure.
Friend, but anyways, you knew it was coming, right?
His little connections and money, probably.
There's got to be a link to Asmongold. Asmongold lives so rent-free in this guy's mind.
Oh, Asmongold's so ugly. He's so gross.
It even shows itself in interviews completely unprompted. And for context, before we get into these segments about Asmon
he smells
in the
so bad.
actual article, let's look at a clip from a few days ago where Hasan calls out Asmongold and how he's brainwashing the youth and corrupting them with his political views. How ironic, am I right?
I know that there's a lot of people who started watching me when they were like 12.
What? I don't believe that. Really? When did he start his career? Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. When did Hasan Piker start his streaming career? 2018. Yeah, so they're like 19 now. Do Zoomers really watch Hasan? No, for real. I'm being serious. Is his demographic really young? Because I know that Asmon's demographic is quite old. They're like between 25 to like 40. We do not, as a Zoomer, know. Does this be considered grooming? No, it's not grooming. No clue. I don't. Sadly, saw him. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I'd have to see his analytics. I'm just very surprised. I thought that 25 old now? Yeah, 25 is unk status.
I know that.
Yeah.
And there's like
it's interesting. I don't know. I'm just curious.
Which is good, I think. Under different circumstances, I say is bad, but I know what that environment looks like outside. Like, could you imagine a 12-year-old learning politics from like watching Andrew Tate or like Asmongold or something?
Okay, hold on. Andrew Tate and Asmongold in the same ballpark is kind of crazy. Nah, that's insane.
You know what I mean? That's like, oh, devastating. That is a.
There are kids that learn from Andrew Tate, though.
From the jump. You're coming into an environment where you're just like, I am going to learn everything on the opposite side of reality. New kids in corporate settings are talking like that chatter. It's insane law. Yeah, you got spawn camped. It's over. You have to hit a reset. It's over. You took
kids shouldn't be watching either of them. Yeah, honestly, I feel like if you talk about politics, you shouldn't talk about politics until you start voting. Or, like, you shouldn't watch politics until you can start voting, which is 18 in most countries. I feel like that's valid, no?
after Elf.
Like, me personally, I was not interested in politics at all until my parents were like, oh, you have to go vote, and I'm like, what? I don't want to do that. And then I had to like watch stuff, and I was like, this is so boring. I was 18, and I was like, man, this is fucking lame.
From the start.
So now that we've seen
I didn't start seriously voting until like
it makes
20,
this section
maybe?
of the GQ interview even more
voting.
ironic. So in the interview, he talks about some young Democratic influencers like Dean Withers and Harry Sisson, where basically he makes it very clear that he's trying to influence what they can or can't do. He's literally trying to alter how they should act. Doesn't that sound very ironic after the clip we just watched? Both of these guys, I'm pretty sure they're like 20 or 21, but here's the...
It's kind of weird because Asmon doesn't say, like, we should start having people do what he wants. Stop with this liberalism shit. Cut it out. Become more leftist. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of weird. Asmon doesn't mentor. If anything, he kind of disassociates from other people, to be completely honest with you.
Actual quote. He's also trying to mentor new establishment Dem influencers like Dean Withers and Harry Sisson.
Thank you for the cookies,
I told Dean
man. I
personally,
appreciate it.
1, stop with this liberalism stuff. What does he mean by that?
Leftists hate liberals. Yeah, I talked to Shoe on Head and DMs a little bit. Definitely. I don't know what it is. It is crazy how much hate she gets from both sides. Yeah.
Cut it out. Become more
It's
leftist.
insane.
And 2, try to do things that are not just debate focused, he says. They're not listening to me, so who knows? Interesting stuff, trying to tell these guys what to do. The same thing that he's accusing Asmongold of doing. But the funny thing about this is, Hasan, you can have him. Like, nobody wants Dean Withers. This is the same guy, in case you're not familiar.
Oh, the one that freaked out. The one that crashed out over the vape pen comment. And it wasn't like rage bait, it was actually them crashing out. Yeah, that was insane to watch, genuinely. I hope that guy got a hug or something, because that was fucked up to watch. Like, actually full-blown freaking out.
Out when one of his viewers on TikTok pointed out the fact that he's smoking on a vape.
I'm sorry that I have anxiety. Okay, and honestly, yeah, it is kind of the fault of people like you that want to come up here and bully and berate me over something that I don't do! Okay? So, cut it. It's not a vape. All right, it's an anxiety pin, and God, the amount of times that I've asked you to respect me and respect my anxiety pin is, at this point, getting ridiculous, Cody. So please,
justified crash out
for the final and for the billionth time, will you please just respect the fact that it's not a vape and that it's an anxiety pin?
This is very weird behavior. I ain't gonna hold you.
It's a goddamn anxiety pen. Get it right.
What flavor is your vape?
Yo, you really.
Is this a parody? No, this was like a full-blown crash out. People will say it's rage bait, but no, it's not.
In for this.
Get the out!
Yeah, the future looks really bright, guys. The future looks really bright.
That's scary.
But anyways,
I don't know.
this continues
Very low
on
emotional
with some
control.
more clips here from Hasan in his latest stream, where he's reacting to people going over.
I saw Tenma with more control over her emotions, and she was full-blown, like, getting one-guyed raging out. I ain't gonna hold ya. I've seen Tenma streams where she had more control over her emotions. And she's the queen of getting rage-baited. I love Tenma, by the way. It's just funny. Like, more emotional control than a white foxu.
For the GQ article. And basically, he's seeing a lot of backlash from his opponents. I think everyone knew that would happen, right? People who don't like Hasan are going to look at that and laugh at it. Even Hasan knows that, but there's something that's really making him upset.
They're wrong, they're jealous. Asmon doesn't know how to read. Why do you care about his perspective? What is this ad hominem? What a weird thing to say. Asmon doesn't know how to read.
It's the fact that his own chat is starting to roast him over this stuff.
That's
he starts getting
crazy.
very defensive, which is not too surprising. And he begins to once again invoke
Let's see it out.
Asmongold. And he says, basically, guys, don't be like Asmongold fans. Like, they can't even criticize him without being labeled Asmongold fans. This is rent-free on another level.
It's not that I think it hurt your feelings, but definitely does not paint a positive view to the general public as someone who should be listened to about politics. You're wrong about that. Only this community will see their favorite streamer get a major magazine article and go, actually, no, this sucks. You shouldn't like this and be happy. I know. But they're wrong. And I think that there's no reason to even go back and forth on whether or not this is negative framing, especially considering that my idiotic, drama-laden haters are probably going to do that over and over again. And the same dumb that were like, oh, well, I told you this was bad, will then relitigate those cynical criticisms because they're fucking jealous. Let's be real. And they will bring that back over here to be like, see, I told you.
Okay,
see,
but why are they
Asmongold
wrong,
said this
though?
article sucks. Well, Asmongold doesn't know how to read. Why?
I mean, it does suck. It's just a puff piece. It doesn't do anything other than, like, paint you in a slightly erotic manner.
Why do you care about what his perspective is? You know? There's already plenty relatively sizable communities that literally make it a pivotal part of their content to just like consistently undermine every single thing that I do. I am an experienced media personality. I have an understanding of how these things work. This is literally my professional job. And I'm telling you, my assessment of this is that this is a very good, very humanizing piece.
Did he pull up his own mod? I guess. I mean, at least he didn't ban him or something. Humanizing? When I read an article about a multi-millionaire streamer talking about how hard it is to be a streamer, or you know, how they work out and they have glistening hair on their chest or something, that does not make me think it's humanizing. Yeah, it's very strange. Again, yeah, humanizing is a wild way to frame sexualization. If I saw an article about Pokimane and it was something like she got out of the pool after working out and there was glistening sweat on her chest, I'd be like, huh? Like, for real?
Especially considering that it shows the full scope, okay? It shows that I'm brash. It shows that I can be edgy, but it also does not hide that I am a progressive figure who is genuine, who believes in the things that I speak out on, and I'm hard-headed and stubborn.
So moving on from that side of the video, we're going
Again, I feel like you have a say in like how they frame an article. If I did an interview and they came to my house and I was a fucking supermodel, I wouldn't want the focus of my shit to be my body or how hot I look. If I was like a political streamer, I'd want them to take me at my face value, not how attractive I am. Does that make any sense? Like, I feel like it's just so weird.
Another part of the interview where Hasan tackles
even if it's true,
the
even if you're
terrorism
attractive
allegations.
or whatever.
Imagine being in a place as a content creator, influencer, whatever you want to call him, and having to constantly deal with terrorism allegations, where he says this: you have a guy like me, name is Hasan, and I'm saying, no, you don't understand. Israel is still very much the responsible party for October 7th, for like 75 years of brutal occupation and apartheid. And now people are like, oh, you're a terrorist? And that really hasn't gone away. Well, the thing is about the October 7th comments, he denies the rapes that were documented from that attack, but that's, you know, one of the reasons people go after him for that. But this comment about, oh, you're a terrorist, and he's saying that doesn't go away, I mean, it started long before any of those comments about October 7th. Like, a lot of people more aptly have claimed he's a terrorist supporter. And, you know, is it really surprising people are doing that? And it's also interesting that GQ would even interview someone like this in the first place. You know, a guy who said very clearly years ago that he believes America deserved 9/11.
Yeah, that's when I started hearing of them, and I thought to myself, like, yeah, damn, this is cringe. Why would you ever say that?
And he's the same guy who platforms and also glazed up
that was
a
like, what,
known Houthi
6
terrorist.
years ago?
He's also the guy who said that he doesn't have an issue with the designated terrorist organization Hezbollah, and also praised Yemen Houthis for seizing civilian ships. I mean, I can't believe someone would say something like that. I can't believe he'd have to dispel these sorts of claims after his history like this. But anyways, it's all a part of the plan, ladies and gentlemen. It's all a part of the plan.
Explains the motivation behind this PR campaign. Yeah, if you post enough nice things about yourself, yeah, people will forget. Or at least the vast majority, anyway.
So all of this PR he's doing,
That's
all
crazy.
of this is what he describes
Maybe I need
as
puff pieces.
terrorism insurance.
In my opinion, the GQ article bookends really well with
What?
the NPR piece from the other day. They're both something you can point to normie libs if they have questions about Hasan, the terrorist supporting guy. Exactly.
Something you can show your parents. You can show insane haters. Nah, that's crazy.
Exactly. Precisely. That is the whole point. A lot of these articles are just like terrorism insurance. Remember that. Okay? This is something you can show your parents. This is something you show like fucking insane haters and whatnot.
Bravo. I mean, what else can you do but clap for this guy at this point? He's like a circus monkey, right? He's giving us endless entertainment. This guy is facing down these legitimate criticisms about what he's said about terrorist organizations and terrorist attacks.
That's
and he just
crazy.
responds by saying, well, I'm doing all this PR to get terrorism insurance. So if somebody sees this who's a normie, I'm going to have some benefit of the doubt because of these puff pieces. It's just out in the open. He's unashamedly admitting to what's going on here and what he's trying to do.
Why would you need insurance if you're doing something that's good? If you truly believe what you are saying is the correct thing, why would you need counterpoints or counter viewpoints of you being quote unquote good or humanizing in order to be perceived better? You don't see like Asmon talking about or having puff pieces made for him. He has the money. He's probably richer than Hasan, low key. I don't know, but I mean, I'm just speculating because he doesn't spend his money. He could totally do the same thing, but he doesn't because he doesn't care.
With this massive PR movement he's been doing over the past couple of months, if not longer. And of course, we get these allegations, right, that this is all rage bait. I don't really know at what point rage bait is worth it anymore, when it just makes the people who don't like you not like you further, and the people who do like you start to question you a bit. And you can see some of the quotes where he's literally trying his best to be edgy, with another banger photo or example of the one from the cover, where GQ shares this right here saying Hasan Piker on Zoran.
This makes it look so much worse than the actual picture. It's so funny.
Big Z's the man. He's great. He's going to implement woke Sharia in New York. Very excited about that. All the buildings have to face Mecca. That kind of good stuff.
This has got to be parody, right? This is clipped out of context. This is clipped out of context, right? Like, I have no issue with Muslim people, like, right? But this is such a weird thing to say. Like, why? Why would you say this?
It's not even, like, good rage bait. It's just, like, at this point,
this rage
you
bait,
pretty
maybe?
much have to associate this.
But he's saying it as a joke? I guess. This is really good rage bait. I fell for it then.
With his real beliefs, because this is not far off at all to what he normally would say or believe. He's trying to claim this is all rage bait, but it's not really working. It's not a very valid defense anymore. But you knew at some point, right? Ethan Klein would get involved. He would comment about this, but he was included in the interview before he made any sort of a reaction to
the
it.
bathtub
And yeah,
shot?
he shared this.
If someone said, "Get in the bathtub, Alana, we need a shot of you," I'd be like, hell no, what the hell?
With this comment saying, "Have we jumped the shark yet, folks?" Which is, of course, a Happy Days reference when Arthur Fonzarelli literally jumped a shark in the show, and that was pretty much the downfall of that show.
Such a
but
bizarre
anyways,
photo.
this is the quotes about Ethan Klein from the article, and it's something. It says, "Some have accused Klein of having a psychosexual obsession with Piker." No, not
What does that even mean?
Not some people.
What is
Hasan
that?
has said that multiple times. Let's make that clear. But he goes on with a quote here from Hasan saying, "He talks about my body and the way I look a lot. I don't know why. Maybe it's low-hanging fruit for him. He was always a funny guy."
Oh, but lest we forget when they were reacting to, what is it called? I think it was the Content Cop. They kept making fun of Ethan's Tourette's, and that's just like unironically something that he can't help. Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird that you would say that. It's kind of hypocritical.
Guy. He was never a big looker or anything. It wasn't part of his brand, so I never thought he cared about that sort of thing. But maybe after he lost weight, his personality changed a bit. I genuinely don't know. Last time I talked to Ethan, he was fat. I mean, he still had his issues, but at least he was seemingly more empathetic. That is the most vain quote I've ever seen. Believe me, if the roles were reversed in terms of the comments here and who was saying them,
Ethan is Tourette's. Yeah, I'm
Ethan
pretty
would be
sure,
getting
isn't he?
eaten
He has like a tick in his face or something. Yeah.
live on social media, being called an ableist, fat-phobic, all these things. But when Hasan says it, well, I guess we're not supposed to care. On top of that, this guy's saying Ethan is so obsessed with Hasan's looks. Hasan is obsessed with Hasan's looks. And this whole GQ article is heavily focused on his looks. I mean, that is like the whole point, right? The photo shoot, everything. It keeps coming back to, hey, look, I'm a conventionally attractive guy.
There's always like actors that do this kind of thing, and obviously they're attractive, and their puff pieces aren't focused on their bodies that much either. It's crazy.
That means I'm more believable, more likable, right? That's the whole point of this article. Everyone knows it, but at one point in his recent stream, Hasan was pressed as to why he's so obsessed with Ethan Klein. And he says, whoa, hold on a second. I didn't make this question. The interviewer just went off on their own about Ethan. I have no control.
Also, I didn't bring this up. He did, for the record.
Okay.
Like, the journalist did. I would not have brought up Ethan Klein on this profile if it were up to me.
Now let's...
Well, you could have asked him not to include it then. Like, legally speaking, they can... If you say, can you not ask me that question, you also don't have to answer it either. It goes both ways. If the guy asks you a question about Ethan, you could just say, sorry, I don't want to talk about that, but you just chose to talk about it anyway? Crazy. That's insane.
With one last quote here about Ethan Klein. It says this. The Klein fight reveals just how insular and incestuous the world of streaming is. These beefs and online persona are the substrate from which Piker, the streamer and person, springs. He texts with AOC sometimes, sure. But his close friends aren't campaign strategists and professional politicians. They're the creators he plays basketball with, like Ludwig, Buddha, and video game speedrunners like Point Crow, and the influencers who co-host his podcast Cutie Cinderella,
Ludwig's
Will Neff,
wife,
and Austin Show. You could visualize the streaming world as a series of lunch tables or loose clusters of collaborators like the AMP Collective. And
it's sad. I actually used to kind of like Ludwig because he was kind of like a middle of the ground drama tuber, and he would do Mogul Mail, and it was kind of like it was like not. It was just kind of like centered. I don't know. It wasn't like offensive or anything, and I had to stop watching him because I realized it was like just fake.
The FaZe
Clan. And he backpedaled on him.
This world of influencers is
him.
its own Hollywood with a distinct cast of A-listers and
like,
cult faves. Piker recently attended creator Tara Yummy's birthday party. You guys big Tara Yummy fans? I have no idea who that
What's
is.
a Tara
Am I supposed
Yummy?
to be impressed by this? Apparently, their birthday party at the Roosevelt Hotel, a weird collision between old and new school celebrity where FaZe adapts. And Jason the Ween... sidled up next to Miranda Sings and Love Island contestants. Indie sleaze documenter Cobra Snake shot the photos.
Dude, the journalist that wrote this, you did such a terrible job. A bunch of verbal diarrhea. You did not do a good job, man.
You know, just when I thought I was
Who are these
totally
people?
online,
Okay, to be fair, I think we're not like normie Twitch viewers. I don't know.
feel a little better. I don't know anything happening.
They
in
would
this
say the
section.
same
All
thing
I
about
know is it sounds
VTubers.
so egregiously pretentious. It's actually nauseating. This
Love
sort of
Island
self-congratulatory
contestants.
pat on the back type section here. Amazing work.
Book
The
talk
puff piece couldn't get
The journalist should stick to the erotic fanfic book talk content. Yeah, I like this first part more, to be honest. It had more, like, substance to it.
any puffier if they tried. And there's one more quote, just one more I want to share because it's quite funny, and the reaction to it is just as funny. Another
Oh, he's all wet
photo
and
op
stuff.
from
Whoa.
Hasan, where he says this comment on far-right clowns, aka anyone who disagrees with him, aka anyone to the right of Mao Zedong. He says this: I call it vice signaling. These guys, whether they're
What's vice
real villains or
signaling?
not, are presenting themselves as bad people, and people like it. Nobody likes
What?
cancel culture but GD. That stuff was keeping MFs in check.
Huh?
Yeah, Hasan hates cancel culture. He just loves the results of it.
What's Vice signaling? Like Vice News?
Okay, bro. But the
Opposite of
comments are
virtue
just
signaling?
glorious.
Oh.
Why is he doing a photo shoot / puff piece when there's a genocide? I know, literally. Look at his tiny head. You guys are promoting someone who literally cheers on terrorism. Why is he swimming with his shirt on? You forgot to add the clown makeup. Champagne socials are so tiresome. Unrepentant lib femme sex buyer equals opinion discarded. Petite bourgeoisie poses for a photo shoot. I mean, dude, anyone outside of
Bourgeoisie
his
is
orbit
strong.
or his immediate following, they look at this and they laugh. This doesn't help his image whatsoever. It's an absolute clown show, and everyone
just
knows
don't
it. I mean, this
understand.
is
Don't you have to give approval of like an article being written? This is unironically not a very well written puff piece. The only entertaining thing that was the start with the fan fiction.
this is just kind of the peak of all of the sort of puff pieces we've seen so far. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
He didn't
see you next
censor it. Sorry, Chad. I guess he forgot, huh? It looks like a well-paid puff piece. Well, yeah, it's GQ magazine. Again, I can't help but think to myself, like, damn, how much do you have to pay for a GQ spot?